Okay, we're on to question 5. Based on figure 1, so I'm coming over to the right hand side, and I know I'm dealing with this one here. For each tree species, the number of seeds that were dispersed per square meter in plot X must have been 2 or less, between 2 and 4, between 5 and 7, 7 or greater. All right, so we're going to enlarge this and see what we're looking at. Okay. This is one that trips up a number of my students, actually, because it's just the way the ACT words things. And again, I can't overemphasize that practice with actual official ACT science questions makes all the difference in the world, because you'll see something like this again. And once you've seen it once, you kind of know what it's kind of saying. So it says, based on figure 1 here, for each of the tree species, the number of seeds that were dispersed per square meter in plot X must have been. And what it is it must have been, you look here, this is plot X, right, is the dark one. So we have 7 here, then we have 5, we have a half, 2. So the number of seeds that must have been dispersed has to be the highest value, because it had to be at least 7, because 7 of them grew. And that's as difficult as this question goes. It's one of those kind of like wallop you in the head instead of, should have had a V8. It had to be at least 7, because we have that 7 seedlings emerged in plot X. So they might have thrown, say 10 and 3 died, but at the very least they had to plant or whatever, disperse how many, the highest number that actually grew. So they had to throw at least 7, I keep saying thrown, disperse 7, so that, because we know 7 grew. I'm making a little hat. And again, in the heat of the ACT heat, the kind of pressure of the time pressure of the ACT, that can sometimes throw students, because it's kind of like so simple that it's hard to see, if that makes sense. But again, if you practice these, or even if you've just seen it through this video, you will know that that's just one of those ACT type questions where the question is so obvious that you think it must be harder than it is, and it isn't. It's just, it had to be 7 because at least 7 grew. It could have been over 7, and if it was 10, they dispersed 10, but 3 died and 7 grew. But anyway, it had to be at least 7 with its little hat, and or it could have been more, so that is